Greetings, welcome to EnergySpin Fireside Chat.
My name is Marko Kuokkanen and here is my colleague Marko Koski.
We are EnergySpin. We bring together startups and corporates to the bigger ecosystem where we can scale up the business.
Today we have a discussion with our alumni startup SpinDrive and with our partner Yaskawa.
Please present yourself. First, perhaps Nikita from SpinDrive.
Yeah, hi, my name is Nikita and I'm co-founder of SpinDrive. And SpinDrive is the clean tech company which is based in Lappeenranta, Finland. And SpinDrive improves energy efficiency of the industrial processes. We provide special active magnetic bearing systems for original equipment manufacturers. And these magnetic bearings, they levitate the rotational part of the electrical machines, eliminating the friction. It allows maintenance-free operation and improves energy efficiency. SpinDrive democratizes levitation technology by making it available to any industry and any OEM size.
And now, Panu from Yaskawa The Switch.
Hello, also from my behalf. The Switch, or nowadays Yaskawa Environmental Energy, has originally been built up of three spin-off companies. One of them was located here in Lappeenranta, which I also present. One was from Vaasa, applying vacuum technology for wind turbine frequency converters, and one of the companies was in US, also specialized in power electronics for special energy applications. Nowadays we have three major groups of products. The biggest product group is wind power, so we provide components for big wind turbines. Then we also have marine business, where we also supply special machines for mainly power generation, but also for propulsion. And then the third one, which is the oldest one, seen from the company perspective, is the industrial applications, which practically means high-speed machines for typically compressor applications.
Thank you. Topic of the day is multi-party projects, how to align interests of startups, corporates, and even academia. So first question to you, Nikita. Why did you decide to apply to EnergySpin program?
Yeah, actually, our startup SpinDrive was at a very early stage, and we were looking to the ways to accelerate our business development. And of course, we were looking for the industrial partners. And from this perspective, EnergySpin was kind of quite obvious choice for us, because EnergySpin was concentrated on these energy startups, and that's exactly our topic. And the list of the partners, of the partner companies, industrial partners of EnergySpin was very impressive and fitted our needs, let's say. So that was no-brainer, to select this accelerator.
I have a question to you, same topic. So could you a little bit open more that how were your experiences about the program and which parts, let's say, that help you the most in your development?
Yeah, I think that the quality of the program, first of all, was very high. And of course, it required some kind of the commitment from our side, because we need to spend quite some time during the program. But I think it was quite well balanced. So we had time to be on the sessions, participate in these networking events, meet with the partners. But simultaneously, we had time to work on our own business. The startups in this cohort. So that was quite good balance, in my opinion. And in terms of the benefits, that was of course the educational program. But first of all, I think that was the connections with the EnergySpin partners, and in particular Yaskawa. So another advantage, I think, it was the cohorts in the startups in this same cohort, because they were quite experienced and seasoned entrepreneurs there, and we're still in touch with them. And personally, I learned a lot from them.
Thank you, Nikita. Question to you, Panu. Yaskawa's story in Finland is very interesting. The growth story and the roots of the company, it was the Switch, as you mentioned, from three different companies. it's a very short time you growed up a bigger part of a Japanese company, but why Yaskawa or The Switch decided to be partner of EnergySpin? Could you elaborate a little bit more about that one?
I have a question to you, Panu, also. So Yaskawa, at least here in Vaasa, and I think also in Lappeenranta, is manufacturing megawatt class machines. So that's not
the Switch,
let's say the easiest, let's say that
nowadays Yaskawa
how to start
Environmental Energy has originally
can
been
come in. So
built up of
how
three
really the
spin-off
startup can
companies.
convince
One of them was
Yaskawa,
located here
really
in
have
Lappeenranta, which I also
big
present.
machines. So
One was from Vaasa,
that?
applying Vacuum technology for wind turbine frequency converters, and one of the companies was in US, also specialized in power electronics for special energy applications. Nowadays we have three major groups of products. The biggest product group is wind power, so we provide components for big wind turbines. Then we also have marine business, where we also supply special machines for mainly power generation, but also for propulsion. And then the third one, which is the oldest one, seen from the company perspective, is the industrial applications, which practically means high-speed machines for typically compressor applications.
Thank you, Panu. Yeah, thinking out of the box is extremely important nowadays. It was even before, but same question to SpinDrive, Nikita. As a startup, convincing a big corporate and as Yaskawa, The Switch already told about a little bit that, but how will you convince the corporate to work with you?
Yeah, I think it's quite common to any case that we need to build the relationships and we need to build the trust first of all. So we've been actually, as the researchers before, we've been working together in some projects, and we knew about this kind of need for high speed technology and how SpinDrive can help. So first of all, it's kind of the relation building and kind of demonstrating the capabilities of our team in terms of the technology, first of all. But of course, that's not the only thing. And what we are trying to do, we are trying to minimize the risks of the partner, to participate in the project together, because of course that's risky to cooperate with the startups, but we are doing our best to minimize this risk for the partner. And of course, we are working on the kind of demonstrating our not only the technical capabilities, but also the business capabilities and how we can develop our solution, how we can develop our business. And we kind of openly communicate this progress to our partner, where we are, at which stage we are, and what are the next steps for SpinDrive.
Relationships, trust, that's everything. What would be the typical bottlenecks for startups, not only for you, but from your perspective, what do you think?
Well, I have been, like I said, when I joined the company, there were 3 people working, so I pretty much know what's a startup. And I've been dealing with other startups quite a lot as well. But I would say maybe the biggest issue is really to understand the big picture. It's not enough that you have the technology. that of course helps, and that's the background for all the new business. But you need to really understand what are you competing with, what are your benefits against the other technologies available. Like said, SpinDrive is
even though Yaskawa is
active
quite
big
big
company,
solution,
the switch
there are other
itself
bearings as well.
is
You need to
relatively
understand
small if we compare
how
to
you can
our
beat the
global
other
competitors.
technologies.
And
Has to
this
be
basically
price-wise
means
or
that
has to be
we are not really
technology-wise or
able
reliability
to
or something
compete
else.
with big volumes.
Financing,
Practically, that means that we need
not
to
only
compete
the
with
cost of the
technology.
products, but also
So we
how
have
do
to
you
be
survive over the debt
ahead
valley
of the
that's
main
what
competitors
comes,
in order to
as
be
far
in
as
the
I
market.
understand
And
it,
that
it
means
comes
that we have to
basically
scan
in
for new
all the
technologies
spin-offs.
which could assist the
You will
products
face some
and the
financial
product
issues you
portfolios
have
what
to
we have at the
overcome
moment of
so,
those issues.
So we need
And
to
you
do
don't have the
all
track
the
record
R&D
to play with
stuff
and
really to
increase your,
improve
let's
the
say,
business and keep it
convincibility
going.
that you're
And
really a
EnergySpin
real
is one of
player on the market.
one of the
then also you have
positions
to
where you
understand
can
how
find
ready
these
the new
the
technology
technology
is for the market and how ready the market
business
is for the
ideas
technology
or
as
product
well.
ideas that could assist
And
your
maybe
own
most of all important is
product
really to
portfolio
find the
and
right
R&D.
partner. And you have to be quite flexible. If you really stick on your own ideas and you really don't give, let's say, the rope also for the other side, you're considered to be a difficult partner. And then it's quite easily thrown out and you start looking for other opportunities. So you have to be flexible, you have to have the right partner.
Yeah, thank you, Panu. Talking about the flexibility, I think the next question suits quite well on that. So,
even though
so
the
Nikita,
big wind turbine
if you think
generators,
about,
they
let's say, that
formulate
working
the
in a
biggest
startup
turnover
and you
of the
compare
company,
that to the working
they're
in
probably the
a
most
corporate, so
standard
those are
products
the
what we
different
have.
worlds.
So
if
we
you
have
could
these
give an
other
advice
product or technology
to the
legs
corporate
as well,
and
like
the
I
big
said,
companies,
high-speed machines and also
how would you,
energy
let's say,
storages, also marine.
describe them, how they should
there
work?
we need to really
Let's say when they are
innovate
facing a
something new,
startup.
and that means that we need to have these new ideas.
Yeah, I think from the startup perspective,
you need to
of
think
course,
out of the box. You cannot
some
figure out
flexibility
everything
is
by
needed,
yourself,
but
so you have to be looking out what's
not,
available.
we are not
And
expecting
especially
too much.
what
It's
SpinDrive is offering is
obvious
this
how the
AMB
corporate
technology,
work,
which
but I
we have
think
been scanning for years.
it's important to understand
because we know that it's one
from
of the ways
timeline
really to
perspective
enlarge
for the
our
corporate as
portfolio
well.
in the industrial applications.
Startups, they
And,
always have kind of the
that's why we were
limited
interested in them. But there have been also other companies in the
limited resources.
the
So
EnergySpin,
from this
which
perspective,
have raised
we
our
need to
interest, and
demonstrate
we've had a lot
the
of discussions with
progress
them as well.
quite fast. And the long decision making may basically kill the startup from this perspective. So from the timeline, I think that's the most critical thing, and especially if we're talking about the decision making and making the next step when some milestones are achieved and then there is kind of some hesitation, anything like that. So that of course would be beneficial to avoid in this type of cooperation projects.
Okay, thank you. Same question to the Panu. So from the, let's say that what is required from a startup to be able to work with the big companies or a corporate, even you are not, let's say, traditional corporate because you have a startup background. So how would you describe that?
Yeah, I think basically I listed the items which are essential here. If we talk about SpinDrive, we know the technology quite well. And like Nikita explained, we have been working in a university project together with the SpinDrive guys. So we know exactly what they are offering. So if I consider their case, I would say that the biggest question for us is that how do they really survive over the debt valley, and how are they able to keep the technology cost in a level that it is also feasible for our markets. So if it's too expensive, it's clear that we are not selling anything because there are also other opportunities available. So we need to understand together what's going to be the cost structure of these new products that we are developing together. And it's a common development, even though the technology is basically pretty much developed by SpinDrive, but it's integrated as a part of our product. So it requires a lot of cooperation together and common research and development as well.
Good. Thank you. SpinDrive, already Panu mentioned a few things about what your situation is like, but what are your most successful areas and where you should need to improve? What your beliefs are that where you should focus on at the moment, or you should be improving?
Yeah, so of course, latest progress of SpinDrive was related to the fact that we were able to secure our seed investment round with our investor Butterfly Ventures, and that's of course kind of the first step to secure this kind of survival during this death valley, as Panu mentioned. So that's the first step, of course, and we of course starting to work with the different partners worldwide and have some paid projects which also help to kind of improve the financial situation for SpinDrive. That's true. And in areas in which we need to develop, I think it's of course the product development. So we're working on that and focus on that. And of course, our kind of sales process that's needs to be developed, and we're working on that. We recently hired experienced business development director who has the expertise in the B2B sales to OEMs and in terms of electronics and these type of devices. So we need to get a lot of knowledge from the market as well, and we need to establish our processes. But most importantly, we need to work on the product development to demonstrate it to the partners and to test it in the field.
Thank you, Nikita. Yaskawa is investing into the startup. So actually, what are the features what will make Yaskawa interested about the startup?
I think there are two different ways. The other one is that, well, all the new things, they have to be fitting into your own strategy and rather even your own portfolio. But there's also the other way, that if you are looking for new markets, like this is the reason why Yaskawa was originally interested in the Switch, is that we had the environmental energy issues which they were lacking, and that's why they invested in us. And Yaskawa is still looking for other applications in the same field of business. So if you're looking for something to advance your existing portfolio, it has to be either technological or it has to be cost-wise. Either can be enough, but it has to be something new. It has to give you some benefit against your competitors in the market, or it has to open really new doors of new business, either existing business in the markets or really new business which can open a lot of new opportunities.
Yes, thank you. Further question about, because of Yaskawa, anything about the culture, how you see working with Japanese compared to European culture? Any positive and negative surprises? What is kind of most positive surprise when working with the Japanese culture?
Well, a lot of surprises. It's difficult to really say what is the most positive or most negative. It's been just surprises. But of course, one of the things that comes with the Japanese, which is let's say quite well known, is the requirement of quality and how they watch for the quality. It's a bit different way of doing. And also, what's been a bit surprising, this is also was at least partly known before, but how, for example, Japanese think about their own markets. They work totally differently than Europeans. Big companies, they discuss together, they have common projects. Here, if I think our competitors, it's very difficult to really start projects with the competitors, but in Japan it works a bit different way. But what's been positive as well is that they are quite open for new innovations and even new things. And yeah, language barrier is always a problem. And I have to say that was a bit worse than I expected, but I think that's something that will heal itself along the time when they have to be working with the English-speaking society more.
But the good thing is that I think they have a similar surprises from their side when they're thinking about working with the Finns. So it's both ways always.
So Nikita, are you looking for further funding? What is the situation at the moment? So you received some funding from Butterfly Ventures, and what's the situation now?
Yeah, so currently we're looking for our Series A round. So we're aiming to close it in the beginning of the next year, actually. So yeah, that's kind of we're already in discussion with the interested investors.
Okay, further question related to the same topic. So how would you use that funding? So that what would be the next steps after that when you receive it?
Yeah, so for the Series A round, actually, our main targets are to ensure the stable sales with hundreds of our units, our magnetic bearing controller units operating in 2 or 3 different industries. That's the main target. We will run first condition monitoring services for our customers with these units. We will establish at least 5 partnerships for cross sales in terms of high-speed machine manufacturers and frequency converter manufacturers, and we will extend our patent portfolio. So those are the main targets of our Series A round.
Thank you. A little bit, if we keep on the topic of financing, so Yaskawa has invested in TerraLoop and Probi batteries in Finland. Those investments, of course, align with the strategy somehow. But are you working on with them somehow, or is it more like as a board member? How do you work with those companies?
I'm a bit wrong person to answer this because this decision was purely made by Yaskawa. The Switch itself was not that much involved, but I was involved in technical issues related to, especially for TerraLoop. I know that Yaskawa was looking for energy storage opportunities in the market, and they wanted to invest in TerraLoop. That was done, I would say, quite in early stage of technology of TerraLoop, so they didn't have really anything concrete at that point. And as far as I understand, the investment for Yaskawa was purely investment on financial basis, not so much on technical basis. But of course, they were also looking, if you think about energy storage, that includes components like frequency converters. If it's a moving energy storage, it means that you need to have something related to electrical machines or something like that. So they were looking also for opportunities to sell their own components, but mainly to enter the new market with the new technology in the energy storage business. Batteries is pretty much the same, but a bit different technology for energy storage as well. So I don't fully know the background of Yaskawa, but I would say that mainly it's really to look for the new innovations, support them with a reasonable size of investment and see how the technology grows. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You just have to, you cannot predict fully if something is a success or not. So you just have to take the risk and see how it goes.
Yeah, correct. Question to the Nikita. So your roots are in a university. So how do you see university's role as a platform to develop the future new innovations?
Yeah, of course, our roots are in university, and the university is kind of the strategic partner for SpinDrive. That's of course kind of backup for our innovation and our capabilities as well. And of course, we hope that the university can be this type of platform for innovation, but not only for innovation, but also for the cooperation projects, which can involve the startups, the industries, industrial partners in this sector, and different stakeholders, basically. So we quite happy that we have this type of strategic partner, which can be very beneficial in these upcoming projects, and hopefully there will be more and more coming.
Thank you. Before wrapping up for the questions and answers, I suppose Yaskawa is also working quite a lot with academia, as I've understood, in both in Vaasa and Lappeenranta, and also perhaps in many other places. But last question for Nikita: what is limiting your technologies to scale to the market? Do you have any? What is kind of your understanding about what's your limitations about how to scale to the market?
So in general, what we believe that this active magnetic bearing technology, what we are doing is it's quite well known and it's been on the market for a while. But the biggest thing right now is the price for this technology. So it's basically too expensive to implement this in different industries or across the industries. And that's what SpinDrive is solving. So we're trying to democratize this technology to make it available to any OEM size. And the key to that is the price. And of course, flexibility in working with the partners and the flexibility of the design. The price of this technology, there is no anything special in it. And we believe that there is a time for that to make it more affordable for any industry.
Panu, do you agree with Nikita, or would you like to add something on that?
Well, I could give you a lecture of some hours of different bearing technologies for high speed, but yeah, it's pretty much correct what Nikita said. In the applications where the active magnetic bearing is not necessarily needed, it's probably not being used as well, because it's going to be, whatever you do, it's going to be quite expensive compared to, let's say, traditional anti-friction bearings, which cost maybe hundreds of euros. We are talking about tens, maybe thousands or tens of thousands of euros. So you need to have some advance out of the technology. And we definitely know where we can have this advance, and we know that it's needed. You have some other, let's say, competing technologies. They have their advantages, they have their disadvantages. And I would say that in this case, the disadvantages are so big that we definitely need to have a look on the active magnetic bearings to replace these traditional bearing solutions. So yes, there is room for that, but it's still a bit niche market, but definitely where it's needed, it's needed.
Yeah. Before the questions and answers part, so I think, Panu, do you have a question to Nikita, what you would like to ask?
Well, if you want to ask something, we can have this here or private. we are having, of course, a lot of information transfer because of we are doing things together already. So
What
I think we know each other quite well, and also what the other is doing.
Yeah. Do you have a question, Nikita, to Panu?
Yeah, as Panu said, that it's actually more like a private discussion. So that's we have kind of clear cooperation strategy and how we are moving forward. So I think that's fine.
Good to hear.
Thank you for the excellent chat.